guys, welcome to a new video after like a month of not uploading. So yeah, I'm gonna just get right back to it, man. And yeah, I haven't posted in a while again. And honestly, I have like no excuse. Like I mentioned in the last video, I was down bad, pretty much. I went through a horrible losing streak. So in my last video, I think I was down like 6%. No, 6.5%. Yeah, and so yeah, I kind of wanted to make a new video right now after a month to maybe like do a resume of what happened during the month of April because the 100K account is still live. Like honestly, after the last video, like yapping in front of the camera saying how I'm like really down and all that, I thought maybe that I would have blown the account because I was in a bad losing streak, but fortunately the account is still alive. And so yeah, I'm gonna go through the whole month of April because I still traded during the month of April, but yeah, I just didn't post. I figured I would just trade on my own, and yeah, that's it. And like recently, I was thinking, man, I need to upload again, and not just because I have to upload, because it's a great journaling tool for me to just upload my trades and all that. So yeah, let's get through it. So yes, that's. I'm not gonna go through again what happened in the last video, but basically I was in a losing streak and I was down like 6.5% coming into the month of April. And so yeah, I'm gonna go through 7 trades that I took through April. And so the first one was actually on the S&P 500 right on the 1st of April, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right here. So during the 1st of April, I actually saw that we had a bearish daily fair value gap that was unmitigated. So basically, my bias for the day was to just trade into that daily fair value gap. And yeah, as you can see right here, we had that bearish daily fair value gap that was not traded into yet, and we formed this 4-hour bullish fair value gap that was context for me to use to go higher, right, and to target the daily PD array. And as you can see, we ended up trading into the bullish 4-hour fair value gap. And at that moment of time, basically I was just that's when we tapped into the fair value gap. And yeah, I entered off of this 15-minute fair value gap right here to target higher into that high and to potentially aim for the daily fair value gap. And if I'm not mistaken, I got stopped out during that trade. That's unfortunate. And yeah, so coming back after that losing streak, I went into another losing streak. So this was the first trade of that losing streak. So basically, I lost that trade on the 1st of April, and I was down pretty much that 0.7% on the account. And as you can see, after getting stopped out, price went straight to my TP and played out beautifully. And looking back, my mistake was that we had this 1 hour opposing resistance, right? Like, it's just patience. I wasn't patient enough to wait for price to basically disrespect that fair value gap, and I entered into while we're trading into this opposing PD array. So if I had simply waited right here for price to respect that 1 hour and then take out this low, look at how price beautifully went higher with like 3 straight 15-minute candle. And the reason why is that there's no opposing resistance at that time. Right here, the only resistance was that 1 hour fair value gap, and once we traded into it, we went lower, took out this low, and then went higher with no resistance, right? So if I had simply waited like another 1 hour, I could have entered again, but I decided not to enter again, so I'm glad that I respected my rules. So at that time, I was down 1% on the month. And so, yeah, the next trade was on Euro USD on the, I think the 10 April, right here. So basically, on the dollar at that time, right, we were into this kind of bearish daily fair value gap, right here. Yep, right here. So with this bearish daily fair value gap, we could have gone lower while being lower overall on the trend, right? However, I lost that trade, as you can already tell. So my bias at that time was that we have so much momentum going into this bearish daily fair value gap, and I'm thinking maybe we're going to disrespect it, right? And as you can see on the 4 hour, price action was pretty ugly, right? So it wasn't necessarily ugly, but let me explain. Like, we respected this 4 hour bearish fair value gap, which is beautiful, right? We went lower, respected this bearish 4 hour fair value gap, all while being um, in this daily bearish fair value gap, right? And so once we respected this 4 hour bearish fair value gap, we took out this low, right, and went higher and formed a bullish 4 hour fair value gap. So at that time, I'm like, okay, this bearish daily fair value gap might not pull through, right? We might just go higher from now on. And we have all this generated liquidity right here, all these swing highs. And so my bullish, my bias was bullish to trade into this bullish 4 hour fair value gap. And so we ended up tapping in that 4 hour, and I basically entered on Euro USD right here. So basically the opposing idea. I entered right here to go lower off of the 4 hour bearish fair value gap, and I got stopped out right there. And honestly, looking back, the thing honestly is that I simply should have respected the overall bias. Like, the overall bias is bearish on the daily, right? We have this daily bearish fair value gap context, right? And we simply need to wait for it to play out, right? And it played out beautifully, but I don't know. I just wasn't patient enough. I thought we were starting to go higher. Looking back, it wasn't that bad of a trade, but I just need to stick to the high time frame. The high time frame is telling me that we are in this daily bearish fair value gap, so I should only be looking for sells. Like, where can I potentially go lower from? And at that time, we have a bullish for a fair value gap, and it doesn't really make sense for me to just buy when we're selling off on the daily, right? On the daily time frame. So I simply needed to just wait for price to show me bearish signs, and I just needed to wait for a disrespect of a bullish period rate, and we had it right here. So we disrespected that 4 hour bullish fair value gap, and if I had just waited for that, I could have taken a sell and then continued the bearish trend. I was yapping way too much. Like, I was talking way too much. Like, the video is already like 9 minutes long, and I'm through only 2 trades. So I'm just gonna go through all the rest of the trades, but a little bit faster because I don't want the video to be that long, honestly. But yeah. So going through the third trade, so it was on the S&P 500 on the 15th of April right here. As you can see, we traded into this bearish daily fair value gap, but failed to go lower from it. So at that time, I'm like, okay, we might be targeting that high right now, since we don't want to pull through that bearish daily fair value gap and go lower to target these lows. So my bias was bullish, and honestly, this trade, looking back, was fucking dumb, honestly. Like, I saw this 4 hour fair value gap, so basically going higher, I want to have a context, and it was this 4 hour fair value gap. So I wanted to trade higher from that, and yeah, I kind of thought it was a swing trade, so I entered like a London session, but it was just a dumb trade looking back, honestly. I got stopped out right here, and basically, once I saw that this bearish 1 hour fair value gap was disrespected, I went higher. And no, I think it was at the PM session, or maybe I'm mistaken. I think I entered right here on Tuesday, something like that. But yeah, I got stopped out. So yeah, I was down 3% at that time. And now that I'm saying this, yes, I was down 3%. So before the start of the month, I was down 6%. So at that time, I was down 9.2%, I think. So I was one trade away from blowing the account. Like I remember, like in my mind, I was like the account was already done. I was half through the month on the 15th of April, down 9.2%. I had one trade left because like my rules are to just trade while risking 1% every single time. Like I don't go down the size. I don't know. I don't like doing that. And I'm like literally what happens next it will explain why I like to just take to a percentage of risk, and it is always 1%. And so yeah, that time was down 9.2%. So I was one trade away from losing the account. So I had to be really careful. And like looking back at these trades, like I'm always trading into a resistance. And what I mean by that is that look at this candle right here. Like I'm trading into this daily candle. Like, and the reason why it's consolidating is because we're in this daily bearish daily fair value gap. And so if we're in the bearish daily fair value gap, like I mentioned before in the EU trade, like I need to stick to the high time frame. The high time frame is bearish. We're in the bearish daily fair value gap. Like I just need to look for a sell. That's it. Not take a dumbass buy, right? While we're in this important period. So like that's something that I'm realizing I need to just make sure there's no resistance, because I'm literally trying to trade against a bearish daily fair value. So that's my mistake. But yes, the next trade fortunately was a win, and that's why the account is not blown. So it was on the 21st of April on EU, and the trade was simple. Like all my winners are simple, and all my losers are complicated. Like the reason why is that, look, we're in the bullish daily fair value gap. I'm just looking for a buy. We disrespected this bearish for our fair value gap. That's when I just took a buy right here with this low right here to this high, and we did end up hitting TP right here after a couple of days. So I had that trade for multiple days. So fortunately this allowed me to be I think up, so no, down 7.5%. So before that I was down 9.2%. So I just stopped the bleeding for a little bit because I was one trade away from blowing the account. And so yes, the next trade was on EU again, and this one was a little bit tricky again. Unfortunately, we had this bullish daily fair value gap, right? And on the 4 hour right here, we traded into this bullish daily fair value gap, and during that day I just wanted to target this 4 hour bearish fair value gap, right? And so basically to target that, we had this I think 1 hour fair value gap right here, and yeah, once we traded into this 1 hour fair value gap, I basically just wanted to target this 4 hour bearish fair value gap. So we didn't have a lot of resistance against me, but I remember I entered right here and I got stopped out, unfortunately. But look at that, we still ended up going higher, but price was just consolidating. And look, like I did the same mistake. We had this, like price is fractal, like we technically still had opposing resistance in the form of that bearish 15-minute fair value gap. Like it's always comes down to patience. Like I just wasn't patient enough to wait for my entry pattern. Like look, we ended up respecting the bearish 15-minute fair value gap. I got stopped out, I got manipulated, and then we went higher. Like it's the same thing as the first trade that I showed in the video. Like the same thing. But at least I'm learning from my mistakes, man. Like I just need to be patient. That's it. So I was down again 1%, so down 8% during that time. And yeah, for the rest of the month, I took two other trades. So the other trade was on EU again, and it was a winner. So honestly, I think it was in the same day. Yeah, the same day after losing that trade, in the morning session. Basically, my bias was that this bullish fair value gap is not holding because we're coming off of this high right here. We had this bearish candle that has a lot of momentum, so I'm looking to disrespect this bullish daily fair value gap right here. And so we traded into the 4 hour that was looking to target before that, and basically with this 4 hour I'm looking to trade into this low right here, and just waited for price to look. I remember I learned from my mistake. We had this bearish 15-minute fair value gap acting as resistance, so I knew that I just needed to wait for price to disrespect that. And what I did, I remember I was patient enough to just wait for price to run into this low. And the reason why is that this low is the low that is respecting this bullish PD ray that is acting as resistance, right? So I'm just waiting for price to like show me that we're disrespecting this low, we're running through it, we're not sweeping it, right? We're just running through it. And that's when I entered right here. Unfortunately, I remember I didn't have a 2% gain. I closed the trade at a like 1.3R, and the reason why is that I was looking to target this low, but on the dollar we had already taken it out right here. This high was already taken out, so I decided to close the trade at that time. So it was a 1.3R, not a bad trade. And so yes, the last trade of the month was on Nasdaq. Really simple trade. I think it was the 1st May, if I'm not mistaken. Right here, yeah, simple trade. We were going higher, disrespecting this bearish daily fair value gap. So look at this price action right here. This price action was to be avoided, or honestly, I could have maybe taken some sells right here because we were like starting to respect these bearish fair value gap. But once we were going higher, I just needed to wait for price to run this high, right? That's what was happening right here. And so coming into the 1st of May, I was basically looking to go higher from this bullish daily fair value gap. So really a simple trade. We had a big manipulation during the market open, going lower. Let me go a little bit faster. Like we went really lower, and look at this beautiful manipulation. I was basically just waiting for price to like confirm me that we were disrespecting this bearish 1 hour fair value gap. And as soon as we inversed right here, basically entered right here with this low for a 122, or I think I was targeting that high, but I was able to cut a 122 right here. So great trade, really great trade. So like looking back the whole month, I think it was a break-even month. Like I was down 9.2% at some point, and I was able to bring back the account to being down 6.5% like I was in the beginning of the month. So overall, not a bad month. Like I wasn't down, I wasn't necessarily up, but I was able to learn a lot. And as you can see, my main lesson was to be patient, man. patience is everything. Just I know my setup. That's the thing. I know my setup 100%, but sometimes I'm just not patient enough to fully wait for price to just show me how obvious it show me the where price is going. Like I just need to be patient, and price will show me where it's going by just waiting for price to disrespect opposing PD raise. Like basically just inversing fair value gaps. That's the thing that I need to wait, because I could have like avoided so many losses like looking back. But hey, they were really great lessons. But yeah, that sums up the video. Like I think I said I didn't want it to be long, but I was yapping all along. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you're still here, like thank you so much. But I'll see you on the next one on another episode on the 100K funding account journey. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.